Hey everybody, how you doing? We are here with one of our coronavirus interviews. This is Miss Jessica on the screen with me. Thank you, Miss Jessica, for joining us today. She actually has a very unique story. Actually, she's like I said, local business owner of a company called Patriot Structures. And with all the corona craziness going on, that I like to call it, yes, we know it's affected all kinds of businesses, but her business has done something very unique and helped the healthcare industry and many other people in the process. But before we get to that, well, Miss Jessica, hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And if you don't mind, just introduce to our viewers, who you are, what you do, that sort of
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Jessica Aguila. I own Patriot Structures. We service the Rutherford County area, and really all of the kind of
thing. Hmm.
greater Nashville area.
Yeah.
I do portable storage buildings. So sheds, barns is what people typically think of, carports and like metal garages and things like that.
Mhm. Awesome. And then, just to dive right into it, if you don't mind me just getting right to it, I know. Oh, and for the record, Miss Jessica is in her car because she is
Yes,
busy. She's traveling right now, but she has stopped to take a few minutes to meet with us. So thank you for that.
of
Um,
course.
but yeah, so just diving into it. I know you got things to do, but how are things during all the corona craziness going on? How's work business doing?
Yeah, it's we've adjusted and we've pivoted really quickly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard in an industry where typically you kind of meet people, walk through a building, get to know what their needs are and things like that. It's very kind of personal,
Hmm.
shake hands, sit down across a desk kind of industry.
Yeah.
So that's been a little bit difficult, but ultimately we've done the best that we can to just keep everything as safe as possible. We're still an essential business, so we are open, but I have adjusted to try to do everything over the phone, online, just to minimize personal contact. And then the buildings that are available on my lot, I leave them. I sanitize them. I sanitize all the handles and the touch points, and I leave them open so people don't have to, come in and touch things. So
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can to take like appointments, one person at a time,
Mhm.
or just not have to meet in person at all.
Yeah, I got you doing a lot of Zoom meetings like this and things
Yes,
like
for sure. We do a lot of Zoom meetings. I do video tours. So,
that. Okay.
folks are at home and I'm just kind of walking around a building, showing them every little option and comparing paint colors and things like
Oh,
that. So,
I got you. That's wonderful. Well,
yeah.
on the flip side of that, I mean, how are things at home? How have you adjusted? I remember you said you had
Yeah.
the two little ones at home. How are they doing?
Yes. Yeah. My two little big ones, I guess. So I've
Yeah.
got teenagers. I've got a college student. So he's adjusting to his first year of like distance learning in college.
Mhm.
But he works at a grocery store. So,
Okay.
I'm nervous for him.
Mhm.
But I appreciate what he does.
Oh yeah.
And my youngest is 16 and he's, again, distance learning. He's struggling with not, missing out on some of the end of the year stuff at school,
Yeah.
saying bye to his senior friends, missing prom and, things like that. But we're doing everything we can to stay positive. And I've tried to involve him in my business,
Mhm.
one, to keep him busy, but also to hopefully kind of perpetuate this entrepreneurship going forward. You know, maybe it's something that passes down to him.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's wonderful. I like how you put a positive on that one. Well, if he's not in school, hell, come work with me and learn
yeah,
the ropes. That's actually I think that's really neat what you're doing.
absolutely, absolutely. If we're doing stuff online, there's no reason why he can't, like sell buildings online or answer
Yeah.
questions or, just kind of help people out. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if he's watching this, take your mom's advice. I wish
That's right.
I'd done that when I was 16. That's awesome.
Yeah.
but anyways, I want to dive right into it because what I think you're doing is really neat. How you've been able to put a positive spin on this whole thing, given all that's going on. But what you've been doing to help people, and I'm just going to leave it at that. If you don't mind
Yeah.
telling everybody what you're doing, I think it's really cool. So
Yeah. So we're trying to think outside of the box and do everything possible to help
mhm,
individuals, businesses, hospitals, anybody kind of get through this COVID craziness. Like you said, it's turned a lot of industries up on their head, and you kind of have to think differently to get through. So, I was telling you a story about a nurse that I helped with the building.
yeah,
You told me a funny story about seeing memes that like, oh, sorry if my neighbor saw me naked, and they leave their scrubs outside. But I did have a nurse who got a small building so that she
mhm,
could come home, take her scrubs off,
mhm,
disinfect, put on clean clothing, and disinfect the building, and not have to go from home or outdoors, into her home.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, that same thing. It was I saw it was a picture of Scrubs on the front porch, and I said,
Yeah.
"Sorry to my neighbors if you've seen me naked, but I'm not taking this inside to my kids."
Yeah. Well, this lady had, she's got a young child inside.
Yeah.
She's got an elderly parent, and
Mhm.
it's too big of a risk.
Oh yeah.
And obviously she doesn't have the liberty to, not go to work. She's doing God's work right now. So
Oh yeah.
like, please do not,
Yeah.
bring any of that into your home. So that worked out really
Mhm.
well. I've also had other businesses that,
Mhm.
potentially are not essential, but right now, some businesses don't have any other option but to stay open and try to do things that are
Yeah.
curbside, not have people in their businesses. So I've had, people buy buildings that have been, just small so they can use like a drive-through.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the facilities to do some sort of curbside, assistance, you can have this kind of drive-through where customers can come into like one small little area and
Yeah.
and get their merchandise.
Yeah, that's really neat. So, and you
Yeah.
had mentioned earlier something. I think it was the hospitals. I think, or
Yeah.
like facilities that are using your buildings to store medical equipment and stuff that they need, like when they're getting the shipments of medical gloves and things, they're using your buildings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Old Hickory Buildings is the manufacturer of the buildings that I sell.
Mhm.
They're a local Murfreesboro company, and they've established like a COVID response team.
Mhm.
So any hospitals, government agencies, anybody that needs a building to get through this
Yeah.
hump right now, those are expedited, built very quickly and get out to them as quickly as possible.
Mhm.
I've seen them do buildings for triage outside of like hospitals.
Mhm.
Um, Testing facilities, if any hospital needs some sort of portable building to treat
Mhm.
customers, then they can use our sheds for generators and things
Yeah.
to keep those essential equipment. Ultimately, just storage too. The space inside of a hospital and inside of a
Mhm.
treatment facility is so valuable right now for
Oh yeah.
patients that
Yeah.
if you can get any of that non-essential stuff out, into like parking garages or anything like that, then
Mhm.
there's plenty of need there
Yeah.
and plenty of resources to customize what they need.
Yeah. See, so at least personally, I can classify you as like you see all those pictures online of people going and putting chalk on the hospital
Yeah.
sidewalk saying you're our heroes. So you're part of that. I mean, you're helping the medical people do their job
I mean,
better.
that's a complete honor. And like I said, anything that we can do,
Yeah.
um, to help anybody in this situation,
Yeah.
whether it's personally, whether it's a business,
Hmm.
anybody struggling to really meet the needs of what business is doing right now.
Yeah.
I just think it's so important.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. That's when I know when we initially were going back and forth, I was like, we got to share this. This is so cool.
Yeah.
So that's really neat. And if people want to get in contact with you, or if they need your services, what's the best way, or how can they get in contact with
I would say the best way right now is my Facebook page. Just search
you?
me Patriot Structures on Facebook.
Okay.
And then I am, all of my contact information is there. I am working 24/7. So I feel like I am busier than normal at maybe like, a third of the revenue. So I'm like
Yeah.
working three times as hard
Yeah.
for, a lot less
Yeah.
revenue right now, but it's
Well,
important.
I at least personally, I'm a very firm believer that's going to come back to you tenfold. And so,
Oh, for
I mean,
sure, for
you're
sure.
helping people get through this. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that you're going to get tenfold back. And so,
Yeah.
but I will include a link to your Facebook page and your contact info in
Awesome.
this post so people can find you quicker. So,
Awesome. I
but
appreciate that, John.
I know you got to get back to things. I know you're in your car and you've been parked patiently waiting. Thank you. Um,
Oh, that's
but,
fine.
uh, but I really appreciate your time and sharing your story with us and what all you're doing. So
Of
again, I'll put your
course.
contact info on this. If anybody needs to get a hold of you, it's in the comments below. So
Yeah. And I
uh,
think the best message is that, you don't have to come to my location.
mhm,
I can come to you. We can keep our distance. We can wear our masks, or
mhm.
we can do everything virtually.
Okay.
So there's no need to compromise anyone's health or safety. If you're, home cleaning out your garage, or if you're a business that needs a solution to stay
Yeah.
open, we can definitely help you out.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you again. And
My
if
pleasure.
anybody needs, again, I'll put the contact info below, and they can get a hold of you directly. So I really
Great.
appreciate your time. Thank you. I'll leave you alone after this. So I know you got to go. But
I
thank you
appreciate you,
again,
John.
and
Thank you.
I'll probably do a follow up with you and see about more stories that you have to tell us. So
Yes, that'd
yeah.
be great.
All right. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. Have a
Thanks.
good
Bye
one.
bye.
Take care.